Donald Trump's response to coronavirus has been, in my view, horrible. It's been slow and begrudging and lacking in, any sort of scientific understanding or curiosity. It has definitely increased the chance that his devoted followers will contract and potentially die from coronavirus because they unfortunately trust him and he is not trustworthy. Trusting Donald Trump, as always, can potentially get you killed. But that does not mean that his response is really hurting himself. Recently, I saw this in Gallup. His approval rating is back up to 49%, just as it was before coronavirus. So if this is hurting him, it's not really clear. You can even see here, by the way, that over the past few weeks, Republicans support him 1 point more. Independents have jumped up by 8 points. Even Democrats have his approval rating in the Democrats has nearly doubled. And what has he done to deserve this? He's had those rambling, insane press conferences. It's maddening, Emma.
I understand, but this is why it makes Joe Biden's absence from the conversation so much more egregious. So much of politics is just being visible and getting airtime. You see this with Andrew Cuomo. The whole country's obsessed with Andrew Cuomo now. Oh, Andrew Cuomo, our savior, Andrew Cuomo.
Hold on. I saw an article saying, I think I'm in love with Cuomo.
I saw that too. And I saw someone close to me repost that unironically.
Maybe it was just deep irony.
Yeah,
Probably
no.
Not.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so my point is just that Trump has been very visible. Andrew Cuomo has been very visible. And that is the reasoning behind I think Trump's, approval rating. 60% of Americans, according to Gallup, say that he's been doing a good job and they approve of his job with the coronavirus when he is undoubtedly things just worse. So, and made the United States ill prepared to deal with it, and is now advocating for people to go out in public in a very short amount of time, which is just going to worsen the problem. So just being on television, people are, desperate for news. They're looking up the coronavirus, COVID-19, Googling it, and they see Trump, looking very official up there on the podium and talking and giving people hope, even though it's false hope, saying things are going to go back to normal. They feel like, okay, that's what I want. I want things to go back to normal. And they think he looks presidential. They're rallying behind the president in the time of crisis. We saw Bush's popularity soar after 9/11.
Yeah.
This is not the same thing. But what I've been saying is that this could be Trump's Iraq war in a sense, because, look, I don't think Biden is a strong candidate. And I think that there are a lot of parallels to 2020 to 2004, when Bush ran against an uninspiring centrist in John Kerry and won narrow. And Kerry didn't have cognitive decline, apparently, or apparent cognitive decline either. And Trump's approval rating is just going up in this pandemic, and this is going to be at the forefront of every voter's minds in November. And I could definitely see it going down that way with Trump getting reelected as an incumbent, because his approval rating went up because he was able to appear presidential to people, and Biden not really having an inspiring message to begin.
Yeah, that's my fear. I know a lot of people early on were saying, well, this is it for Trump. I mean, he's doing a terrible job, but that's by no means a guarantee. I mean, first of all, people don't necessarily know what he's doing. I mean, 27% of Democrats think he's doing a good job. The majority of independents think he's doing a good job, specifically on this issue, which is madness. But they do trust him, and when he stands up there and he pretends that some drug that they're going to test for the next year that might help a little bit with the symptoms is a cure, or that a vaccine is coming out in a month, then he knows what he's doing. It's just brand management. It's selling a product that doesn't exist, but it gets people excited about your brand, and that's what he's doing. And he'll say how many lies has he told? Everybody expected, 3 weeks ago, he gave a press conference saying that in the very near future, Google's going to have a website, and Walmart and Target are going to be testing you for coronavirus through drive-through things in their parking lots. How many people watching this stream have gone through one of those drive-through testing things? Has that happened? Does that exist? No. But everybody felt better temporarily. And so his numbers went up. And here's the thing. So I said at the beginning, trusting Donald Trump could get you killed. Take a look at this poll. So this is Ali Velshi tweeted this out. This is CBS YouGov. Who do you trust for coronavirus info? If you're a Democrat, 87% of you trust the CDC, 75% trust your governor, 72% trust the national media, and then 72% friends and family. I think that's probably a bad call. Don't do that. 44% religious leaders, again, 14% Trump. For Republicans, 90% trust Trump, more than trust the CDC. And national media is at 13%. So Trump and the national media basically swap spots depending on what party you're in. So all these Trump supporters, millions and millions and millions of Americans, they believe that anything they hear about coronavirus on the media is likely to be a lie. It's still just a hoax. It's a weapon being used against Trump. And if Trump says we've got a vaccine, if he says, oh no, we don't need to use, our emergency powers to force companies to produce ventilators, it's just going to be fine, they will trust him on that.
I think that figure about the media is really key, because it has a counter effect when the media is constantly talking about how terrible Trump is doing in many aspects. But it's heightened in this coronavirus pandemic because people want to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that things are going to go back to normal very soon. So when you have a president giving them that false hope, they're naturally more inclined to believe him than they are the media who's screaming from the rooftop saying no, 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 no. And when they're covering it nonstop and they're covering Trump negatively nonstop, people have a natural reflexive reaction to that, being like, that can't be, I don't think he's doing that bad, right? And so his numbers go up. And the media appears to be less trustworthy, and the media already has been a much maligned institution in the United States for a really long time, and it doesn't help that the president screams fake news on a regular.
Yeah. Don't listen to Trump, people. I'm seeing someone just commented and I checked it at Rancho Palos Verdes in California. 6 people at a Trump golf club at a birthday party got coronavirus. Now, that doesn't mean that they're Trump supporters just because they go to a Trump golf club, but it's possible that they trusted him. We don't know. Well, we'll find out.
It's more likely than not. I can't imagine anyone who's anti-Trump going to a Trump property at this point.
Yeah, I would not. Unlike Trump, I actually feel bad for those people. I feel bad for everyone that has trusted him and has gotten coronavirus as a result of it. Just really, really fast before we move on, I am curious, So he's lying about vaccine. He's lying about basically every part of this. But the problem is that eventually, reality could catch up to him. If he does order people to go back to about their business or whatever, and the case numbers jump up into the hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands start dying. At that point, do you think that is what triggers some Trump supporters to realize that he was lying, or will the master of branding be able to find some way out?
Again, when he is the master of branding, and that's what's so crazy, and marketing. And so when he constantly says things are beautiful and great and wonderful, that penetrates some people's minds, right? So who knows? I mean, can you repeat the question, John? I'm sorry.
So basically I was saying we're worried about what could develop. And so far, his lack of response to that, or lack of a serious response, hasn't hurt him in terms of the approval ratings. But if the doctors are right, and if the numbers do explode, and we do see tens of thousands or more Americans dying, will the reality of that be undeniable at some point for Trump fans, the people who've given him a benefit of the doubt, when they see 100,000 people have died, hypothetically, it's just a hypothetical, will that be enough to finally break through to them? Or do you think they'll find some way around it?
I don't think that'll be enough. And I think that once mass deaths start happening, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people who say, oh, they were old. Oh, what could have been done? Nothing could have been done. It's so bad everywhere. And what are we going to do? Tank the economy? I genuinely think that's going to be a lot of people's reactions. Not enough people, but a lot of people.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.